we are going to learn a different kind of conjunction. So far I've taught you the coordinate conjunction. Those are your little joining words such as but, or, yet, for, and, nor, so. Remember when we learned that today, we're going to learn the subordinate conjunction. And before you know how they work and what to do with them, you need to know what they are. That's kind of important. So the very first thing I'm going to teach you is a simple song to help you memorize these subordinate conjunctions. So go ahead and write with me. Today is just a lot of writing. Go ahead and title this the subordinate conjunction song. Subordinate conjunction song. Done. Subordinate conjunction song. I don't have anything more original than that. So let's start off, and it's really important that you have two markers for this, or two pens to write with, so that you can differentiate what's part of the song and what is an actual subordinate conjunction. So let's go ahead and write our first line of the song. Subordinate conjunctions. Write with me. Subordinate conjunctions, comma. Subordinate conjunctions. Actually, I'm going to leave that comma out because I don't want to confuse you. I hate and I abhor. Abhor. A-B-H-O-R. It's the opposite of adore. When you adore something, you love it. When you abhor it, you hate it. So we're going to just say, you know what, I hate learning these different grammar things. They're just confusing and hard, but we're going to learn them anyway. So subordinate conjunctions, I hate and I abhor. Abhor is another word for hate. And now we're going to start listing them. There's T-H-E-R-E apostrophe S. There is. Now we're going to list all of them together. There's switch markers. After, because that's a subordinate conjunction, I'm going to mark it. There's after. Although. As. Because. Switch back. And. Before. And the reason I didn't put and with the same color is because and's a coordinate conjunction and I don't want you to get confused. So I'll even put my commas the right color, okay? Before. So here are a few subordinate conjunctions. After, although, as, because, and before. 3 A's, 2 B words. Moving on to the next line. So after, although, as, because, and before. Switch back to your subordinate conjunction pen. If, provided, since, and, put commas here, if, comma, provided, comma, since, and, unless, until, and, A-N-D, than, T-H-A-N, T-H-A-N, not the E-N, E-N, A-N. Think, think. Okay. I guess we could put a comma there. Okay. If, provided, since, and unless, until, and then. Here we go. Blue pen. There's. Back to the subordinate conjunction, colored pen. There's whenever. Whenever is one word. Wherever, also one word. And in your blue marker. And while. And where. And when. Are you writing this with me? I hope so, because it's going to get more confusing. You need to have it written down. Okay, subordinate conjunctions. I hate and I abhor. And then I'm going to start naming them. There's, and here they are. After, although, as, because, and before. If, provided, since, and, unless, until, and then, and another 5. There's whenever, wherever, and while, and where, and when. 4 lines to this song. Easy to memorize. First line, you say what it is. Subordinate conjunctions. How do you feel about them? I hate them. Subordinate conjunctions I hate and I abhor. And then I start naming them. A's and B's in the second line. There's after, although, as, a little short one in the middle. And then your two B's, because and before. And look at before rhymes with abhor. So you have a little bit of a connection, help you memorize. Third line, if, provided, since, and, unless, until, and then, U-U-T, and then your W's are on the last line, easy. Long ones first. There's whenever and wherever, and those are in alphabetical order, that'll help you remember. Whenever, wherever, and then you have three W's. While and where and when rhymes with the sound then. And that's our song. 4 lines. To make it easy, it's also to the tune of the Itsy Bitsy Spider, which you all know because you grew up and somehow along the way you learned it and you remember it. It's stuck in that long-term memory. So we're going to sing that together because it's a tune that we all know. And I'm going to sing it for you by myself, which is far more embarrassing for me than you. But it will help you remember. So try to sing along with me, okay? It will help you if you get this tune in your head. Here we go. Subordinate conjunctions I hate and I abhor. There's after, although, as, because, and before. If, provided, since, and, unless, until, and then. There's whenever, wherever, and while, and where, and when. Awesome. That is why I do not try out for American Idol. But we're going to do it again and again and again until you have it in your head and you know your subordinate conjunctions. Here we go. One more time. Pay attention to how the sound goes. Subordinate conjunctions I hate and I abhor. After. There's after, although, as, because, and before, if. If, provided, since, and, unless, until, and then. There's whenever, wherever, and while, and where, and when. You hit the second syllable on whenever and wherever. Whenever, wherever, and while, and where, and when. One more time. You got to do it with me, okay? You have the words in front of you. Here we go. And subordinate conjunctions I hate and I abhor. There's after, although, as, because, and before. If, provided, since, and, unless, until, and then. There's whenever, wherever, and while, and where, and when. There you go. Do me a favor. Memorize this. You need to know them, and then after you know them, you can learn why you should use them and how you should use them correctly in the sentence. But for today, memorize them.